Here we are again, and today we're here to talk about this game, Pandemic. So Pandemic is a, as I've said in the playthrough, this is a classic, a co-op classic. I mean, most people will have heard of this game. It's been translated in I don't know how many languages. It's really a standard for tabletop, kind of a flag carrier from the nerds that are tabletop gamers to every household. It's really a well-known game that really spread a bit like wildfire in the households, in family households, because it's a very friendly game. It's a families. It's a friendly game to play cooperatively, and also, as you have seen, to play a solo. It's a game that I super enjoy. It really stands up, you know, to its place in the tabletop board gaming history. To be honest, there's been a few iterations. This is the classic, the base game. I haven't showed you the expansion yet, but even with just the base game, I mean, you can have a super fun experience. The game can cater to a lot of audiences, as I've said. I mean, it's a super game to have in a game night, to play cooperatively with your friends, with your girlfriend. I mean, my girlfriend, she's not a huge board game fan. I mean, she likes to play once in a while, but this is the game I think she loves the most. And it's we played Pandemic Legacy. And yeah, she was actually eager to play. She was the one asking to play, so which is kind of a first. So yeah, that kind of tells you how good Pandemic actually is and how much it appeals to a lot of audiences. And one of those audiences, in my opinion, is and should be the solo gaming audience, because I mean the game is great in solo. Again, you can it's a game that you can kind of cater to the experience you want to have, because you have those epidemic cards. There's 6 in the base game. There's 6 of these. You don't have to play with all 6. It's kind of the difficulty levels. You can play with 4, which is easy, 5, which is normal, and then 6, which is hard. That's what we played. I mean, it's still doable. Once you get to know the game, you know the engine, how to play the game, you can definitely be playing with 6 epidemics. Having the medic really helps. He is just one of those great characters. He really helps, and it's a game that I would advise playing with 4 characters. Once you get to know the game, I mean, it's doable. Playing solo with 4 characters, it's very doable. And yeah, you can go with the 6 epidemics, but if you don't want to, you don't have to play with those 6. You can just go with 5, and you'll have a blast just the same, to be honest. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 7. Is that it? Yeah, there's 7 characters. That's an odd number. 7 roles in the base game that you can pick. Honestly, they're kind of well balanced. Yeah, pretty much. Except for, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the contingency planner, but still, I mean, I enjoy playing with most of these. So yeah, it's a game that, you know, has stood the test of time. It's an old game. It's not Matt Leacock's first. He has other games with similar engine, like Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert. I own both of them. I enjoy them, but I think Pandemic is the well, it's the best one, the best Matt Leacock game for me, to be honest, because it's a super friendly game for the family, but it can also be kind of deep. There's even tournaments. There's the Pandemic Survival, I believe. It's kind of a tournament where there's a lot of teams, and there's a table set for each team. Everyone is playing the same setup, and their decks are all in the same order. Okay, so everyone is going to be playing the same game. And then you have to either survive, or the team who survives or cures the 4 diseases first wins. Okay, so that kind of tells you how deep the game can be, because there's so many teams. I've actually entered one of those contests this year, and it was super fun. And it kind of tells you, you know, the game is simple to play. The rules are simple. But there's so many decisions, so many different stuff that you can do on your terms. I mean, it's really deep. I don't know if there's probably some videos on YouTube about these tournaments, and you can check them out. You probably won't see two teams in the same tournament making the same choices. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to do the same choices, because yeah, it is. There are so many choices in your movement. In am I going to risk this? Try and am I going to risk, having an outbreak here because I need to go there first to trade a card? We actually did it in the playthrough. It didn't end up well. It went good because we took a risk. It paid off, but it might have exploded, and then we would have another situation and another decision to do on the next turn. Are we going to, put a lid on that situation or continue with our initial plan? So yeah, it's a game full of decisions, but they are really, really fun. It's not super heavy decisions, that will have you scratching your head. No, there are decisions you can do. You can think on them in 1-2 minutes and then keep going. If things don't end up well, I mean, you're still having a lot of fun. It's not one of those games where losing is super frustrating. It really isn't. I've always, I think I've enjoyed, I mean, all of my games, to be honest, of Pandemic. There's not one that I was kind of bored or anything. I mean, it is a great game, a great design, a great engine that Matt came up with, having those epidemics and having like those wildfires going on in the board. And then the epidemic will have you, shuffle all of that bad stuff back into the top of the deck, and you're going to draw them, but you don't know if am I going to draw the worst ones first? Do I need to go there, running to put out that fire? They're not fires. I'm just using that expression because it's easier to talk in those terms, because it's like wildfire is spreading around the world. It's not fire, it's diseases, huge pockets of disease, and you have to make those decisions, and they are super fun to do, to decide it in solo, super fun to decide it in co-op. I mean, it is a blast of a game. I super recommend it. I mean, it's I can't say, I mean, it's probably one of the games I've played the most. And now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't say to someone, oh, Pandemic is one of my favorite games, because I mean, it's not a super complex game, but now that I think about it, it kind of is one of my favorites, because I've played it a lot, and I'm not one tiny bit tired of playing this game. To be honest, I've played the Legacy, I've played this. Actually, I want to play some more now. I want to train for the next Pandemic Survival Tournament. See if I can do a little bit better on that one. But yeah, that tournament, at least I can talk a little bit about that experience. They used this and the On the Brink expansion. Now our playthrough didn't use that expansion, but we will do another one using that expansion. I'm just waiting for it to arrive, actually. I have it ordered, I don't have it yet. But yeah, I will do a lot of training games with that expansion to train to next year. That's how eager I am to play Pandemic, honestly. And I mean, a game so simple that actually allows competitive gameplay to be had, and such an interesting concept. I mean, it has to be a great game. It has to be a great engine. I honestly, I'm trying to think of. I'm just babbling here, trying to think of something that isn't so good that I can say about this game. But to be honest, it's one of those games that doesn't really have a flaw. I mean, the only flaw might be, it's not the most interesting thing in the world, and some people might not like the theme. Before playing it, I wasn't very keen on this theme, to be honest. I was like, what? You're curing diseases in the world? That's probably not very fun. I'm more of a fantasy guy, so when you say it's someone who mainly played dungeon crawlers in his early board gaming years, about this theme, I was like, I won't like that. No, that's kind of crappy. I won't like that theme. But no, you know what? Even the board, it's so simple, but you look at it and it's really appealing. It's a really appealing board. I don't know what's appealing about it. I can't explain it, but everything is kind of appealing. In its simplicity is appealing. And yeah, so sorry, I kind of went off road here. But yeah, the theme is cool. it is cool. You might be have a little I don't know, skeptical, be a little skeptical about it. I was, but it really won me over. I don't even know what I was talking about before. I kind of lost myself here. But yeah, it's a great game. So yeah, I was talking about flaws. Yeah, there's really I don't think I could point out any flaws here. Besides, yeah, it's not the most complex game. Some people love complex games with those you know those with a lot of rules, super complex stuff. It's not that, but it is super fun. Not super complex, super fun. To be honest, it is highly recommended. In terms of quality, I mean, well, I have the Z-Man edition here. I don't know if there's any other ones. I'm not aware of. But for what it is, it's perfectly fine. They did a 10th anniversary. Is it 10th anniversary? I'm not sure. No, it's probably older than that. Well, I don't know. Don't quote me here, okay? They did an anniversary edition of Pandemic this year, 2018. It looks great. The box is like these old medikits. It looks really amazing. And there's minis for the characters, which is, to be honest, the only thing I would add to this game would be miniatures for the characters. That would be really cool to have in the base game. I still didn't think it would be that expensive, but that anniversary edition it costs $100. So yeah, I probably won't be buying it because I own the base game. I don't see the need for it, but still, it would be amazing to have miniatures. But I mean, these are fine. You can just play with these. There's no problem here to be had. I have to say something that isn't superb about this game. So yeah, that's me nitpicking something. To be honest, I'm just trying to find something to be nitpicky about, but there's really not that much to be said badly about this game. Highly recommended. A superb experience. And yeah, that's Pandemic. I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough, and I hope I did it, justice in showing you how fun the game is, how tense it can be. Because when the board is filled with these, these colored cubes, you're really shaking. Like, oh, that city can't come out. It really can't. We have to do everything we can to prevent it, and it's really tense, really stressful at times, but super fun. And yeah, that is Pandemic. Well, again, hope you guys enjoyed it. We will have another playthrough in the future with the On the Brink expansion. I can't really promise you when. It's not all up to me, but we will certainly have it. And until then, guys, I will see you later. Have a good one. Bye bye.